Kiev's metro has been closed since this morning. Buses and trams are still running, but in theory they've got to limit the number of passengers to 10 or 20 for the bigger ones, and passengers are supposed to be masked. They don't seem to all be masked at the moment, but Ukraine really is trying to persuade its people that even though the number of coronavirus cases in the country for the moment is very low, they really need to practice self-isolation in order to give the country's healthcare system time to get ready for what seems almost inevitable will be a much bigger outbreak. Parliament voted yesterday to triple the salaries of medical personnel working with COVID-19 patients. That's the kind of measure that they're taking. This was an extraordinary parliamentary session that was an exception to the rule limiting gatherings to 10 people. That was allowed, but a number of MPs who turned up for that had actually returned from high-risk countries such as Spain in recent days. According to the government's own recommendations, they should have put themselves into quarantine and not showed up for that parliamentary session. Similar situation with non-observance of the government's own rules is going on at Kiev's main airport. Even today, flights are still leaving and departing, even though that has supposed to have stopped yesterday. The airport's press service told me that it is only in order to allow foreigners to leave Ukraine and to repatriate Ukrainians coming back from other countries, and that everyone arriving will have to go through a medical test. But these are not tests for coronavirus, they are just very quick medical tests, in fact. So that's raised a lot of eyebrows here in Ukraine. Across Eastern and Central Europe, it's pretty much the same story. Severe limitations on travel, both between countries and within countries, and limitations on the number of people who are allowed to gather together. That's something that Polish Catholics found very difficult to accept. Masses in the country's churches have now been cancelled. One priest found an original solution to this problem. He flew in a little plane over the city of Wrocław and prayed for God to protect the region from the coronavirus, and posted, of course, a video of this exploit on social media straight away afterwards.